So there are many different vehicles and items in War Tycoon that do have their different uses. However, in today's video, guys, I will be mainly covering the top 5 most powerful and best spinner vehicles, but also one weapon will be on this list as well, because there are only 5 spinner items in the game. So today I will be ranking them all in terms of how useful each and every single one of them actually is. So here's the thing, if I'm going to be making this list, I'm trying to be making it out of how overall usefulness each of these have. I'm gonna be honest, the AWP unfortunately has the least usefulness out of all of them. So I'm going to be placing it on the top 5 position, but this is by far the second best sniper in War Tycoon for the fact that it has insanely good accuracy, but just the likes of the Barrett are currently better than it. So in terms of actually how useful it is, I think it's really fun and incredibly accurate, but the likes of the Barrett are always going to be better, so I would always recommend to the people who did get this in a spin, if they want to upgrade their sniper, Barrett is always going to be the way up. But overall, the AWP is actually incredibly useful, and I do recommend all the people who would like to buy it if there is going to be a sale for it at a pretty cheap price. Anyway, let's just jump into the next one. So next up, on the number 4 spot, I am going to be ranking the LAVAD, or also known as the Lavat, on the number 4 spot. The reason being is because it's simply really good in terms of actually being able to do the likes of the anti-air. It is by far the strongest vehicle in the whole entire game in terms of pure DPS to planes and helicopters, so I would really recommend you guys to get it if you can for a cheap, if it's going to be in the sale for a cheap price. But it's also pretty good for infantry and the likes of being able to just go in the water to stay slightly more stealth while fighting your opponents. However, it's just not as good as the likes of the outer vehicles that will be on this list, so let's just jump into the next one. So next up on this list, we have ourselves the likes of the brand new SU-25, which has been added a few updates ago. Personally, I'm going to be ranking this as a number 3 spot, and the reason being is because this vehicle is by far the second most powerful vehicle in the game in terms of ground attacks. Its main cannon is pretty much just doing the same damage as the likes of the A10 Warthog. Its 10 rockets are actually incredibly powerful, and they have insanely good area damage, and one of these bombs is literally able to one-shot the likes of the Abrams X. So it's by far very worth it, but it is also an absolutely great counter, by the way, to the brand new ship, because this ship has 5,000 health, and in terms of actually just dealing insane pure DPS, this thing is actually really good for it. Not to add, it's also able to survive a tank ship, which is also a really great addition. Anyway, let's move into the number 2 spot. And now at the number 2 spot, I will be placing the B2 Spirit. This vehicle is by far the best vehicle in the whole entire game in terms of actually doing base attacks, raiding people, destroying vehicles on the ground, and it's also pretty versatile against the anti-air vehicles, because the anti-air is not able to do as much to it because of the fact that it has stealth. However, it will be getting countered by the likes of the helicopters, but also the planes. However, again, in terms of actually being able to do a great job at ground attacks, this thing literally has such insane area damage that it's able to kill anybody in the base pretty much anywhere. Like, I think the overall explosive radius of this is going to be about around 50 to up to 75 stats, which, by the way, is a pretty insane amount. And then it also has some really good surface area damage as well. Even it can kill people who are inside the bunker, and this vehicle is also able to literally tank 3 tank shields. So this is absolutely no joke, and this vehicle should never be underestimated. Probably one of the best vehicles in the game right now as well. But anyway, let's actually move into the number 1 spot. And the number 1 spot on this list might have actually been pretty easy to pick, but let's all be honest, the BMPT Terminator is definitely still up there. Even though the Abrams X has received a buff, 4 of these wire-guided missiles are able to destroy any tank in the game, literally anything. It is able to 2-shot the likes of the F-45 and 1-shot any other plane in the game, which is, by the way, insane. This is some of the best anti-air vehicle in the game, but it also is not that bad, and it can actually counter the likes of the brand new ship. But this thing is overall incredibly good for its high amounts of versatility. I believe it's just as good as the B2 Spirit for being able to raid bases, because it does also have some great area damage, like the Bradley for an example. But yeah, this vehicle is probably the most versatile spinner item, so that's why I will be ranking it as number 1. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think is the best spinner vehicle or the spinner item, but personally I think I rank them pretty damn well. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much to my channel members.